Hi everyone, my name is Meghan Hector. I am a newsreader on Weekend Breakfast with Makabongwe, and today I am super excited to be part of the Future Cape Town series. In studio, we have a wonderful guest. His name is Cameron van Rensburg. He is a Cape Town's original, and hello Cameron.
Hello to you too. I'm just glad that you said my surname properly, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a swimmer, and I did think that you might be Cameron van der Berg.
Yeah.
When he stands, he's really tall, so I really thought he was a swimmer. So tell us about you. What made you enter the Youth Month edition of the Future Cape Town series?
Well, simply put, there's a lot to be said and there's a lot to be shared, especially with this whole initiative that you are running at the moment in terms of motivating the youth. I mean, even with the discussion that we had now behind the scenes, so to speak, in terms of men and mental health, there's so much to discuss. And I feel like, with my experience, it needs to be shared, needs to be heard. Hence why I'm here.
Glad to hear it. So it goes without saying that radio is quite a big medium and quite a big platform. And I think at Good Hope FM, we are committed to giving our listeners the opportunity to share their voice. Your voice matters. Your story is so powerful. And it can go in any direction. So I feel like there might be some tears, there might be some laughter. But just high level, give us a summary of what the last 4 years were like for you.
The last 4 years, oh goodness. Okay. 2020, let's start there. But I'll put everything in a nutshell.
Okay.
2020, I was still working for a call center actually.
Okay.
And that was actually, when I was still in a very toxic environment, being around people where, you as a person, you want to give your all in terms of, what the job is all about. With me, I'm a customer care consultant for a reason. I'm not too concerned about, my responsibilities. My main responsibility is to make sure that the client is okay.
Yeah.
But however, in terms of reciprocation, it was always the other way around. And coming to 2021, finally made that big step in my life just to resign because I simply don't want to be there. And of which I did. But also that was during COVID. But also one of the reasons why I resigned is because, I have a specific goal. Okay. In terms of production, in terms of radio. I know exactly what I want to do in life. With me doing all these other jobs, it's just to help me prepare to get to that point of where I need to be and where I want to be. And so I finally resigned, and it was COVID. And it would have been a situation where I'm jumping from the one boat to the other. But due to COVID, that other boat sank.
So from sequencing, did you resign before COVID or during COVID?
During COVID.
Okay, so you were courageous, where you were in a work environment, you felt it wasn't good for your mental health.
Yeah.
And you chose yourself.
Exactly.
And you chose to just resign without anything.
No, that's the thing. I wouldn't say without anything because during that time, actually, I did receive an email, from, a radio station, actually, where they said 1% is going out, other percent needs to be coming in. I'm thinking to myself, maybe this is my time. And that's why I took the leap of faith. And it was 3 years later. And only to find out the reason why I didn't receive any feedback from them is because basically the whole station was retained.
Oh dear.
As to why I didn't receive any, and as a result, unemployment was my second name for 3 years.
Sorry to hear
No, don't apologize. It's all good. I'm a cynic is happy now. So I'm all good.
So Cameron, tell us, what do you do for a living today?
Currently finding a radio presenter, because that's the thing that I've been chasing, finding a radio presenter. And I'm also a life coach. I'm also into production, editing, podcasting. Like I said, production is what I want to do.
So from unemployment to radio presenter, tell us about that journey.
Oh, gosh.
Because, the words that you used in your story was dark times.
Yes, dark times.
I imagine that unemployment can be very hopeless.
Definitely.
Like, what did that experience feel like for you?
I think what was the most difficult during, my experience was, it's very difficult to work towards something if you have nothing on your plate. You know, with us as human beings, we're so used to, if we work towards something, at least we have something on the side to keep us occupied, so to speak.
And by something, you mean finances, right?
Finances.
Okay.
Specifically, yeah, it can be other things also, but specifically finances.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, I was blessed enough, or I am blessed enough, where I at least had a support system who supported me throughout my having nothing on my plate journey as I'm going to where I want to be. You know, mense het my mal genoemd. It's like, why would you even do what you are doing? Why would you even pursue entrepreneurship, for example? Like, look at the market. But meanwhile, I was like, but why though? I don't want to be like anyone else. So I prefer to be relentless and just go what I need to go for.
Yeah.
And here I am today.
So you are a life coach.
Life coach, yes.
You are a radio presenter.
Yes.
Former call center agent.
Former.
And you mentioned you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Is that in the production space or in the life coach space? Tell us about your businesses.
In terms of my business, it's more towards the production space.
Okay.
And the reason for that is, the main thing that I love about production is production is about storytelling. Whatever it is, whether it's radio, like for example with you, you do the news,
Yes.
which is vital.
Yes.
We need to know what we need to know. For example, when I was sitting in my desk, I had to go through also my bulletins that I had to read. But for me, going through the bulletins, it's reality. And with me pursuing my production company is to look. I have a goal in terms of what I want to produce at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But the whole point is what we are speaking about right now, is to rather to advise, to help, to motivate the next person watching, just to know that, look, you are here for a reason. In the moment it feels like, what do I have to do? I can't do anything at this point. But it is. I mean, you're not breathing for no reason. That doesn't make sense.
So if I'm hearing what you're saying that your core focus is to remind people that they have purpose.
Exactly.
That they are here to build something of meaning.
Exactly.
And if your life coaching or if your businesses can be a vehicle to bring that to fruition, that adds to your purpose.
That's very nicely put, yes. Very nicely put, in a nutshell.
No, because there's a lot. So while you were unemployed, is that when you started your business as an entrepreneur?
It was actually
Okay.
pre-COVID, actually.
Okay.
But obviously with me being unemployed, it enhanced, that momentum in the sense of, look, you have nothing on your plate now, so you need to make something of your life. But it was difficult. It really was difficult. Again, like I said, it is not easy to pursue something and you have nothing on your plate. It is not easy. It's definitely malavasi. I can tell you now. I don't know.
Sure. So Cameron, in your story that you shared, you mentioned your mental health struggles.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about what that felt like for you?
In terms of struggles, look, what I would say is this: I've always been a spiritual person. My entire life, I've always been a spiritual person. So for me, when it comes to mental difficulties, I always found that challenging, but in a good sense, though.
What do you mean?
In a good sense, in the sense of whenever I face something, as almost as a trok teen trok, so to speak, mentally, that was always challenging for me, but in the good way, because I'm the type of person, I want to know why. I'm not just going to accept it just exists. I want to know, okay, you exist, but why though? Because
Why does the struggle exist?
why does this whole concept of why do I need to go through pain here specifically? What is the purpose behind that concept in the first place? And so, to answer your question in terms of my mental difficulties and mental struggles, it was, again, like I said, it was a challenge for me, but in a good sense, because for me, I'm someone that I pursue, Whenever I go to difficulties, I never sit back. Never. So with me having mental difficulties, especially in 2019, when I have I had a spiritual encounter, that gave me that more broader perspective as to why mental difficulties exist in the first place.
So to someone who's watching right now who's really struggling with their mental health, what tips do you have for them to persevere?
Listen. One thing that I always, one of my main prayers actually, going through mental difficulties was, all I ask is for guidance. Just show me the way and I will listen. I don't want anything else. This pain that I have, I want to feel it because that's the only way I'm going to get through it. I'm not going to get through it by, sitting back, thinking to myself, but why? Yes, think to yourself, but why? But in the sense of, okay, cool, it is happening now. This was not my decision to sit there in the first place. It wasn't my decision to breathe in the first place. So I want to know why. So my biggest tip I'll always say is, whenever you go through something here, listen.
And you listen because the only way out is through. So you've got to feel the pain, to move through the pain, to get to the other side.
Exactly. In order to get to the other side.
Going back to the phrasing that you used around toxic work environment.
Yeah.
How did you identify that the work environment was toxic?
This is actually very sad part also, because in certain work environments, there's always that one person that would always keep everything together for the sake of others. When I started, I would always mention his name, Benny. He's the reason why I got the job in the first place.
Hey, Benny.
What's up, Benny? How you doing?
Hi, Benny.
I really hope that he watches this video, because...
So Benny was a mentor to you?
He was everything. He was just everything. But not just to me, but to the entire call center. But anyway, I'm getting to my point. With Benny, for example, he was that tool that we needed in order to remain sane within the workplace. He always made sure that the workplace is a healthy workplace, because he knew what is happening behind the scenes. Once we get exposed to it, we're not going to last. And then so it happened. Then I don't know what happened. He resigned, or I don't know. But when he left, it was almost like amper soos jy hulle prop uit en dan gaan al die water deur.
Oh dear.
In that sense,
Okay.
Benny.
Sounds like Benny was an excellent manager in that he shielded you from maybe what was happening. And so it was that environment that moved you to just resign.
Yeah. And it's, towards the end of my journey at the call center, I even, getting to that point where you approach the company to say that you are unhappy, and with them only saying, we will see what we can do. It's not enough. I get up 5 o'clock in the morning, not to only see what I can do, but to serve what you need to get paid for at the end of the month. So at least serve me as well as the worker. But unfortunately...
So if someone's watching at the moment and they are struggling at work, they're feeling that it's not quite the environment that's conducive to them thriving, what strategies can they use to cope?
In order to cope, to cope is actually very difficult, because sometimes you would be in a situation where holding on to it is actually, creating more damage as opposed to just letting it go. And that is actually the difficulty. Not so much the coping, but the letting it go. There's nothing wrong with letting it go. You're supposed to let go of things that you're supposed to let go, right? And, the whole motive behind it is you have that thing within you, where at the end of the day, company is going to look at you and be like, but I need you, and not the other way around. So one thing I definitely say is you should have more confidence within yourself. You should trust yourself.
Trust yourself, trust that you'll find another opportunity that's better suited.
Exactly. And take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Just take it.
So, Cameron, I don't know if this is going to be possible, but is it possible for you to stand?
But why? Are you going to stand too?
No, I don't need to stand. I think if you could just stand up for us so that we can go into our next theme.
Okay.
Do we have... I'll just...
So those who's asking, yes, 6'3", that is 1.91.
1.91. That's almost
Can I
as
sit now?
tall as the door. As part of the story that you shared when you wrote into Good FM, you mentioned that during the dark times, the unemployment, the leaving your job, the mental health struggles, you also had some weight struggles.
Oh, yes, this is something else.
I mean, I can't imagine it, right? I thought you were a professional swimmer when I walked in. No. So, what happened?
That's a good question. What happened? Putting it all in a nutshell, I've always been an active person, always.
Do you play sport?
No, but I was a dancer. I was a b-boy.
Oh!
Kopspin my nou.
Do we have a flat
No,
surface?
no. I didn't mean now. I
I mean, can you
meant-
cramp? Cameron, can you cramp for us?
That is actually one genre that I love, but I can't do it, unfortunately. That is a genre, just a by the this is off topic, but that if that is something out of Jared.
So wait, Cameron, before we end off our time together, we're definitely going to learn a few dance moves. But because I think it's Channing Tatum. You actually have the Channing Tatum build. The dancer.
No, I know who he is, but he is handsome. He is beautiful.
But I mean, he was a what is it, b-boy? Okay, I don't have any rhythm, so.
Yeah, he was more of a normal hip hop dancer.
But he's also built like an athlete.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So back to you. Sorry, you were saying that you were a dancer?
Yeah. So I've always been active. I was a dancer, moving into bodybuilding, and so in that sense, I was always active.
Okay.
And I was always someone that is, focused on your health.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to the point of unemployment, this is also one thing, that also needs to be mentioned. Once you are in that point where, things are just, not making sense anymore, you tend to become angry. You tend to become, you develop that anger within you. And as a result of that anger, I started smoking, for example. I'm not a smoker, but I started smoking.
Sure.
I never really was an alcohol consumer, but I was consuming alcohol, bottle for bottle. And, getting to that point where you could see I will show you a picture after all of this. I'm not going to show I'm not going to show it now. But I will show you a picture of how I used to look. You could see that I was not healthy, and that was all because of what? Anger.
You felt a feeling, and that feeling was anger.
Yeah.
And my assumption is, given your dancing background, that you would use dance to express that anger. Mm-hmm. But you're saying that that anger was expressed through smoking, through drinking, through eating.
Yeah, overeating. But I would rather say the reason why I developed that anger within me was also because of, that previous job that I just, mentioned, in that toxic environment. Just that sense of, why did I have to deal with all of that? Why? And just developing that anger and, again, as a result.
So what was the turning point for you? How did you go from smoker, drinker, overweight to basically being an athlete again?
Athlete, that is that is a strong term. But anyway, my turnaround point actually was when I went to the doctor for a normal checkup. Okay. And he asked me if I'm on medication.
Medication for?
Exactly. For what exactly? So he said, you do realize that your high blood pressure is as of someone that is on medication. Like you're to that point of having a stroke. I was like, excuse me.
So you were in your mid-20s being told by a doctor that your high blood pressure was such that you were about to get a stroke.
Yes, heart attack, stroke. And right then and there, I was like, oh, no. First of all, this is not me. Yeah. I don't know how I got myself to this point, but obviously I need to be, take accountability for myself also and be responsible for my own actions. Just sitting back, having a conversation with myself, which is also very important. Having a conversation with myself, telling myself, listen here, this is not you. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I'm currently 29 years old. I'm turning 30 now in December. And I received that news when I was 27. So I was like, why? You are who you are with high blood. This is not who you are. But that was really a turnaround for me where I just said, listen, you know exactly who you are. You know exactly what you want to do and what you want to achieve in life. Why are you not pursuing that?
Yeah.
So
it sounds like you lost your way a little bit. Oh, a lot? Went off track.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know that Rocky Balboa clip where he speaks to his son and he says...
oh, that beautiful speech.
Yes, you changed, you stopped being you, let someone put a finger in your face and tell you that you're no good. You, me, or no one is going to hit as hard as life. Yeah. But it's not about how hard you hit,
it's about how hard you can get hit.
And keep moving forward.
Yes.
How much you can take.
Exactly.
So what did you do to make that change and to get healthy again?
Plain and simple. I just told myself, listen here, brandewyn, whiskey, really not that important. Okay. A cup, kompie bieren, kus bieren, not that important. You need to start looking after yourself. You know, they are like, physically speaking now, you know, so many organs, so many hormones that you have that is shouting for help. Attend to them.
Yeah.
They're going to take you through life.
Yeah.
Not that bottle of whiskey, not that bottle of brandy. What you have, this whole functioning system that you have is going to take you through. But the only way it's going to take you through is if you look after yourself, of which I did. So all I did was I went to the gym. I said, listen here, let me sign up once again. After how many and I signed up, got my future life. I'm back at it.
And how often do you go to gym?
Elke dag.
Okay.
Yeah, but look at me. Well, look at what I'm doing. Ik probeer maar voor elke dag. But yeah, but I am, you know, I'm happy to say that I am again on that regiment of, you know, health first, everything else second. So this is me telling myself, welcome back.
Welcome back. Glad to have you.
Why, thank you. Thank
Future
you.
Cape Town
Beautiful.
series. We want to make sure that we implement our learnings to make our future a bit brighter. This is the Cape Town Future series. So if you could go back in time as an adult now and have a conversation with your 6-year-old self who's just starting school, what are 3 words of encouragement or guidance or support that you would share with your 6-year-old self?
Always remain patient. Always. Just be patient. You'll get there. You'll get there. Always remain patient. And
I
that's
love
about it.
that.
Always. Plain and simple. Not too many words. Just remain. Just be patient. You'll get there. Eenvoudig soos daai.
Just be patient, you will get there. Some final words of encouragement from our guest this morning. His name is Cameron van Rensburg, turning 30 years old in December, which is super exciting. He's also going to be releasing some dance tutorials, so make sure that you follow him. He is a life coach, a radio presenter, as well as an entrepreneur in the production space. He's had a difficult journey, but I think he's really lived that patience and lived that resilience. And so key takeaway for me today is to just keep my head up and to trust that I'll get there.